Hey guys, so this is something that's kind of been on my heart and soul to speak about, but also I've been collecting data and stuff like that. But a lot of you guys are seeing like a lot of just like the negativity in my comments section that's pretty much been present every day for 3 years.
You're a victim.
Here we go, CSI.
Hi guys, welcome back and thank you so much for being here. What's going on? Please like and share this video if you care. Thank you so much for being here. So yeah, this is a uber quick one, a really quick one. I know it's something that I say all the time, but then I end up staying longer than anticipated, but this is really short. I wanted to quickly come here and do a reaction to the video that Peggy did where he was basically trying to rewrite history again. And before we even go into the reaction proper, let me say this, okay? Whenever you see him going, whenever you see him do this, hopefully you guys can hear me. I forgot to do a sound check. If you can hear me, can you just type it in the comment? Let me know. Instead of waiting, I guess I probably should just like check myself. Let me do my own quick sound check. So anyways, whenever you see him talking like this, right there and there, you should know that he's feeling a type of way. He doesn't like the negative, he doesn't like the critical comments being said about him. And he usually does this when he has like new followers, when he has new people following him, and he's trying to rewrite history. He's trying to paint himself out to be the victim. People have just been coming for him for no reason. That's when he does this. And I know that there is this narrative, right? There is this narrative that, oh, because he's a narcissist, nobody should say things about him. People should give him, people should not give him the attention. He craves attention. He loves attention. That seems to be the general consensus. Okay. But the reality is, and trust me, because I know this to be the case, for narcissists, they don't mind you talking about them. That's a fact. But what really grinds their gears is when you talk about them and you tell the truth about them and you say things that they don't like. That's when they lose their ish. Because I know that some people want to say, some people would like to say, oh, he enjoys it when you talk about him. Not necessarily. Not when you are telling truth about him. Not when you're spilling facts about him. The uncomfortable truths that he doesn't want to like answer to. That's when you see him. Because if you remember, if you've paid attention to his behavior this entire time, like you will notice. Hold on, I need to do a sound check to make sure that you guys can hear me. Hello. Like you will notice. Okay, you guys can hear me. So if you've been paying attention, like you will know that the only time that he comes out is when there is a lot of pushback for whatever he has done, whatever he has engaged in. That's when he typically comes out and starts basically trying to rewrite history, trying to play the victim. That's his MO. That's what he does. So, and I noticed that he always does this whenever he knows that he has new people and he's trying to like introduce himself to them and play the victim and act like all these people are just coming for me. I did nothing wrong to any of these people. Like it checks. It's not about whether you talk about narcissist. It's what you say about narcissist. It is when you say things that they don't necessarily want you to say, when you touch on things that they don't necessarily want you to touch on, that's what really grinds their gears. That's what really grinds their gears. If you know what I mean. So yeah, anyway, so let's go ahead and do a reaction. He did a video yesterday. I have not watched the video in its entirety. I only watched less than a minute of it because I wanted to have a reaction, a fresh reaction, a reaction that is basically because that is fresh. I like that better. I could edit it. That's why I have to go through the painstaking situation of just watching it with everybody else, because I like to have my natural reaction to stuff like that. That's why I don't typically watch the videos prior to reacting to them. So yeah, let's go. I hope you guys are having an amazing day though. So today we are going to be talking about a perpetual victim, somebody who likes to play the victim. And yeah,
Tina, go down the slide. And I could kind of give some context to that a little bit without saying things directly. But pretty much my life is just full of allegations. Hey, Athena, take off your shoes and socks and go put them by your backpack. Yeah, get some grounding in, girl. There you go. Take off your socks now. No. I'll continue in 1 second. Do you need help? You don't need help. That's right. You're a strong, independent toddler.
This is how you know. You know when I always say these things. This is how you know that he's really, really trying to sell who he is to his new followers. When he start trying to put on the act of, oh, I'm the best father in the world. Look at me. I'm so attentive. Look at me. I'm taking my kids to the playground. Look at me. I'm waiting on my kid hand and foot. That's how you know. Because these are things that he typically doesn't do. Like, this is a lazy person. And for you to see a lazy person doing all of this, that should tell you what you need to know. That there is a certain demographic that he's playing to. There is a certain new audience that he's trying to convince that he's a good father. Because remember, these people that are starting to follow him, they don't know anything about him, a lot of them for the most part. So they don't know. So he has to introduce himself to them. So that's when you see him do this, trying to be an attentive father and doing things that we know, like you've been following him for any amount of time, he doesn't do any of these things. So yeah.
Good job. Now take off your socks.
Congratulations. You are such a good dad. Here's a pat on the back. Oh, good job, Janie. Is that what you want to hear? You want some cookie? You want cookie?
Take off your socks. Go. Take off your socks. Go, 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 go. All right, go. So yeah, anyways,
this is him introducing himself to those people, to the new suckers who do not know anything about him. Look at me. Look at me. I'm an attentive father. Like, he's the worst representation of a dad. Like, he just sits at home. The children don't even see him get up and go to work. All they do is that their dad sits at home all day and he does nothing, and he plays with them when he wants to turn on the camera to put on a show. Other than that, he just sits at home all day. That's the kind of image that he's make. That is the kind of image that he's forming of what a young lady should expect from a man that just sits at home all day and he doesn't do anything. And that is such a wrong image. Parents are their children's first lifeline. Parents are their children's first experience at everything. First experience at love. First experience at caring. First experience at being hardworking. But from a young age, these young ones are learning that there are some men who do not go to work, and that's okay. Because make no mistake about it, he's not showing them that, yeah, a man has to go and work and put food on the table and look after. No, he's not showing them that. Like, he always talks about how, like yesterday when we were talking about him, he's trying to build her ethics and all this and the other one. The so-called ethics, like you're literally teaching your children that it's okay for them to be in relationships with men who do not get their behind out of the couch and go and get a job. That's essentially what you're teaching your children. Oh, that's okay. Oh, you can date a bum, you can marry a bum, you can marry somebody who's lazy, who sits at home all day. Because after all, that's what your daddy did. So the only example of what a man should be, he's showing them that your man, your future spouse, your future partner doesn't need to get off the couch. He can just rough house all day with your children, and that would be good.
You got, you guys always see negative comments in my comment section. You guys always see these bloggers that are always like saying whatever they can about me, trying to tear me down, trying to make me seem like a bad father.
Victim, victim, victim. Where's my victim meme? Where is my victim meme? Oh,
You're a victim.
Here we go,
yeah.
CSI.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. And let's really, what does it come down to the core issue? The core issue is society as whole.
Oh, society. Oh, let the professor insight us. Please, professor, give us an insight about the society of which you do not contribute. Please give us an insight. Society where you sit on your ass all day and you do nothing. You sit on your bum all day and you do not contribute anything. You're waiting for the next president. Remember when he said it? He wasn't going to pay his student loans, even though he utilized the services, even though he benefited from student loans, but he wasn't going to pay student loans because he was going to wait for the next government who is going to forgive student loans. The society that you do not contribute to. You want to talk about how society is this and that. Like you're the last person to be talking about society when you proudly said that you were not going to pay your student loan. If everybody who utilized the student loan services said they were not going to pay, they were waiting for the next government who was going to forgive the loans, will the society succeed, Mr. Society? Will the society succeed? Where do you think, if everybody decides like you, if everybody takes the same stance that you have taken with regards to student loans, and they decided that they were not going to pay their student loans, will society survive? Mr. Society, will society survive? This is why I love doing these reactions. Let me tell you, this is why I absolutely love doing these reactions, because I love to call out his hypocrisy. Nothing excites me more than calling out the hypocrisy of a narcissist. Yep. Oh, so you care about society, but you are like, you made a conscious decision. You said you were not going to pay your student loans, but you benefited from it. You benefited from the student loan program. But now, when it came time for you to pay back, you refused. If somebody else wasn't going to do it, if your ex-wife wasn't going to pay it, you're not going to, it's not going to come out of your pocket. What a morally upright man you are, Peggy. What a morally upright man you are. You are the beacon of our society. You are the perfect example of what the society should be about, aren't you? Yeah. It is so interesting how he picks and chooses what he's going to hold on to, what he's going to, like, really? Shut up. Before you talk about society and what and how society is decaying or whatever, go and pay your student loans. When you're done paying your student loans, then you can come and tell us about society. First, pay your student loans and then come and tell us about what society is doing wrong. Because you are an example of why society cannot survive. Do you know if there are people like you in the society, society will collapse? Talk is cheap.
Has really demonized men and made it in the way the court systems work. I know this for firsthand experience. The way women think, not all women, but some women, the way people think is that a man cannot possibly raise kids as well as a woman. And
That's a lie. That's a lie. They come from a very progressive. They live in like he comes from. It comes from Oregon, whatever. But the states that they live in is a very, very, very progressive state. They don't go by what a man can do versus what a man can do. They go by merit. They go by merit. Okay. These men like Peggy, get angry when they don't get what they want because they grew up in a society where men were always put above anybody else. Men's interests, men's feelings, men were always prioritized over everybody else. And when you go from such a place to a place like LA that is very progressive, that everything is done based on merit, a lot of people find it hard to cope. There are so many people who are filed for custody, men who have been granted full custody because they were the better parents than the women in that same place. Yeah. It's not about gender. It's about who is more capable. But when your entire life is about playing the victim in the circumstances that you created, of course you're going to fall back all the time on, society hates men. Society, that will always be your go-to, because other than that, you have nothing. Other than that, you have nothing. This is a man who has refused to move on. The talking points, the things that he says, like if you have even dabbled into the red pill pipeline, you will know, and I don't recommend it, okay? If you're not strong-willed, if you're not principled, if you don't have your own mind, if you don't have the ability to make your own decisions, don't dabble into the red pill pipeline, because the things that you will hear there will make you hate yourself, even as a woman. It's just a bunch of victims. It's just a bunch of men who feel so disenfranchised, mostly white male, thinking that society, because they can no longer get away with the things that they used to get away with, who they now made a victim of themselves. I only delve into this sometimes because for research purpose, and even then I cannot usually wait till I get the heck out of there. Because men who dabble in those places, like whenever he says things, it's so obvious that he's been spending so much time among the red pillars, and that's where he's just getting all this information and just regurgitating all the things that they are saying. And when you really research those red pillars, a lot of them are white male who feel disenfranchised because society is now trying to balance everything. Society is now trying to equalize things, as opposed to giving the upper hand to male as it has always been before. So a lot of them cannot handle it. That's why you see them crying, moaning and groaning on social media. Can you guys hit the like button, please? Facebook, please. Like the video, Facebook. Please, please, please. Like the video. Come on, we can do better. If you're coming in, just like it. If you're already here and you forgot to like it, just like the video. Thanks. So this is what they do. So when he talks, you can just tell, like if you know anything about red pillars, you can tell that he's just regurgitating their talking points, regurgitating the things, their mindset and how they view life, the victim mentality of it all. It's amazing.
That's simply just not true. In fact, statistically speaking, kids that are raised in single father homes do just as well as two parent homes.
Because, and I don't even know, like, because it's like you can twist whatever you want to twist and make it seem as though the same victim mentality. People, you can do all of that, but it is not because you are a male that they are choosing not to give you full custody. Because it is because of your history. It is because of your unfitness to be a good parent. That's the reason why.
So, in fact, and if we also go off statistics, most people that end up in prison are from single mother homes. So the fact that people are so willing to tear down.
Did you see how he twisted it? He said, statistically speaking, people who grow up with single fathers do as well as people who grew up in a two-parent household. He didn't tell you the statistics of people who grew up in a single father home versus people who grew up in a single mother home. He didn't tell you that because statistically speaking, people who grew up in a single mother home still benefit more, still have a well-balanced life than people who grew up in a single father homes. But he doesn't want to say that. He wants to twist everything. Again, this is what they do. This is what the red pillars do. They will twist the narrative. They will twist the statistics to favor them. You notice how he's not telling you what the statistics says between people who grew up in a single father home versus those who grew up in a single mother home. Shouldn't he be basing his point on that? Shouldn't he be basing his point on that? Shouldn't he be basing his argument on who ends up being better? Single parents, single fathers, or kids who grew up in single fathers, or kids who grew up in single mothers? He doesn't want to talk about that because statistically speaking, it still favors people who grew up in single mothers' home versus those who grew up in single fathers' home. These are the kind of lies that he talks to, that he tells to like convince anybody who's not really paying attention to the wording. These are the kind of lies that he tells, and he's surrounded by a bunch of brain dead elements who do not even use common sense. So he surrounds himself with those kinds of people, and they don't question anything that he says. They don't even challenge whenever he's spewing falsehoods. They don't. They just like let him keep spouting. But that's not what we're going to do. Over here, we are going to challenge everything. Because we cannot let lies fester.
Down a father that's doing his best. That's what I'm doing, my best. Do I have everything figured out? No. Do I struggle? Do I have areas of parenting I need to work on? Do I have things that I need to work on as a human? Yes. Every single parent knows that no parent is perfect. No parenting is perfect. Everybody struggles. So again, this is another manipulative tactic to make them know that, because he wants to be relatable. Because he knows that people in the comment are going to be like, well, I'm a parent. I'm not perfect either. I'm not perfect. I'm just doing my best. We're not talking about that.
We are talking about intentionally inflicting hurt, intentionally inflicting pain, intentionally inflicting like trauma on your kids. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about parents who make mistakes. There is not one single human parent on the surface of the earth who has had everything figured out, who do not make mistakes, who do not have wrong, bad days or whatever. There is no such thing. But when you go out of your way to intentionally inflict pain on your children, to parent poorly and badly because you want to antagonize your ex, that's when you get called out. For example, chopping off your kid's hair. Yeah, that's a good example. That's a good example of intentionally inflicting pain on your children because you want to punish their mother. Okay? Because you want to punish their mother. You are punishing them, of course, but you're punishing their mother. Because no mother is going to sit back and allow you to victimize their children and not be hurt by that. So that's the difference. That's what you're doing. Intentionally inflicting pains, intentionally inflicting hurt on the kids to punish. And that's what you get called out about. It's not a matter whether you're perfect or not. There is not one single human being that is expecting perfection from you or from anybody because it's unrealistic. But don't intentionally, don't post a video of your children getting hurt. Don't post a 3 seconds video of your children getting hurt for views and to hurt the mother. Don't do that. Don't post that and not expect people to drag you. That's just common sense. That video did not even need to be outside. That video did not even need to be released. I don't even think that video made money. Yes, it garnered a lot of views. There were a lot of people watching, but I don't think that video made a lot of money. I don't think the video made a lot of money. Don't post such a video knowing that you're going to aggravate every mother that is going to be in your comment section that is obviously not licking your nyash. Every mother that is going to be in the comment section calling you out for doing that. Exactly. Somebody says, crushing June's finger and mocking her and putting them in a swing to get hurt. No single parent is perfect. None whatsoever. But nobody is going to like really go hard on you when they see that you're doing your best and your actions does not have malicious intent. The reason why you get called out is because many of your actions have malicious intent. That's why you get called out. Because anybody who has raised kids, anybody with common sense, know that nobody is perfect. No single parent on the surface of the earth breathing is perfect. But when you go out of your way, this was not even, example, the thing that happened with the swing, this was not even something that happened during the live video. This was a pre-recorded video and you posted it. You posted a pre-recorded video because you really wanted to inflict hurt and pain on anybody, any well-meaning person. That was your intention. And that's the reason why you got called out. So don't get it twisted. This is not about, when he throws blanket statement like this, am I going to be perfect? The dim-witted one that are watching him, the dim-witted ones, they'll be like, it's true. I make mistake too. Hey, dim-witted one, your mistake and his quote-unquote mistakes are not the same. You are not intentionally inflicting pain. You are not intentionally posting videos that are going to reflect the hurt that you have given to your children by mistake or whatever. You cannot compare yourself to him. You can't compare yourself to a demon who intentionally goes out to her kids and then post it because people didn't see what happened. I have to post it so that people can see, so that the ones that are going to be besides themselves about this can be besides themselves. And I'm gonna have fun. And then when the criticism get loud, I can just play victim and act as if all these people are just coming for me for no reason whatsoever.
Same as everyone else, constantly trying to improve in all aspects of my life at all times.
That's the thing.
But
You're not trying to improve. You're not constantly trying. Like, you are going out of your way to inflict hurt on the children, to punish their mother and punish everybody who means well for the kids. You're not, like, it's not something that is just happening on a whim. You are intentionally inflicting pain, inflicting hurt on them. There is a difference.
it's really, really ridiculous that there's such a movement of these females that just when they see a father on the internet playing with their kids, they all have hate groups. They all want to be tore down. And
I guess you know a thing or two about hate groups, like the ones that you formatted, like the ones that you created, and you were going back and forth with all these women, telling them that your ex, either she buys or she goes to prison, either one is fine by you. I guess you will know a thing or two about hate. What is it that Republicans always do? They always accuse Democrats of that which they're guilty of. Again, obvious where his mind is at.
it's just crazy because miserable people love company.
Mm.
And one of the things that really motivates me to keep making content with my kids, because truthfully speaking,
Money, it's money that motivates you. One of the things that motivates you is the money. I mean, what else are you gonna do? Like, you're the laziest SOB on the surface of the earth. You are lazy. You cannot even lift yourself up and go get a job. Your ex was your meal ticket for a very long time, until she decided that she was going to dump you because the life that she was living, working while you just spend the money, was not sustainable. And so she decided that she was going to dump you. She was done. Yeah, money is always the motivation. What are you talking about?
I don't want my kids on the internet.
Mm.
But
You don't want your kids on the internet, but here we are. You don't want your kids on the internet. When you were not monetizing your kids, you didn't want them on the internet. When you were trying to convince people that you were the better parents, you didn't want them on the internet. When all of that failed, and you realized that there's no way you can sell this better parents narrative, you decided to come on the internet with the kids. Now it's every day. I wonder how bad he screwed up that Facebook, even after they mistakenly turned on the stars for that page, they quickly turned it off because the star was on for like a day or so, and his minions were all celebrating it. Yeah, he finally got his star button. And just as quickly as he came, the star button disappeared. That's really interesting, I think.
I can't stop it from occurring, despite spending lots of money to try to stop from it occurring. So I'm just going to turn I'm just gonna turn this shit salad into some lemonade. And one of the things that I'm getting constantly, I get messages from men that are actively going through a divorce who are so close to giving up on their kids.
And because of you, they decide to like wait it out to not give up, even though you were getting ready to give up, until you realize that there is a pathway for you to not losing custody of your kids. Until you realize that, yeah, you can actually come to an agreement and promise not to antagonize your ex anymore, and then promise to go back to the original divorce agreement and custody agreement. Yeah. But let me hear, yeah, when they contact you, all those men that are just contacting you, what do they say? What do they say? Tell me.
And just not being a part of their kids' lives because the mother is making it so damn difficult for them, whether it's in court, whether it's with constant allegations of abuse, whatever. And there are bad men out there. There are men absolutely out there abusing wives.
So how do you know that the men that are accused, that are reaching out to you and playing victim, how do you know they are not one of those bad men? Do they show you evidence? Do they show documentation to show that they? But then again, you are, in my opinion, a bad man. So I don't expect you to. Of course, I expect you to defend the bad man because you are one of them.
And if I ever get confronted with one, they're going to get a fist right to the face.
Yeah, right.
Because that's the way I was raised.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. You that is just looking for anybody that will defend you, anybody that will support you. So when you find a bad man, you will see a fist in the face. You'll get a fist in the face. You that is looking for any riffraff, any Tom, Dick, and Harry, any self proclaimed victim that you are going to win over to your camp of bitter ex-husbands, bitter baby daddy club. You that is looking for anyone that you can recruit into your bitter baby daddy club. You hear moaning and groaning about how if you ever come in contact with a bad man, they'll have a fist in your face. You You! Oh, shush. Shut up.
But the fact that society in general, especially Nigerians, think that a man can't possibly raise two little girls, I'm doing it.
Yeah. Especially Nigerians. Your ex-wife bullies Nigerians. You bully Nigerians. You guys, you know that regardless of anything, Nigerians will always, Nigerians always watch, which is so crazy to me. So bully us all you want, call us all kinds of things, single us out all the time. Yeah. But you guys are still coming to us to get support. Yeah. You do it, your ex-wife does it. You guys single out Nigerians all the time. What else is new?
Selling. My kids are happy, they're healthy, and they love me. So it doesn't matter what people say. At the end of the day, my kids are obsessed with me and I'm obsessed.
Because you are afraid of accountability, you don't want to be held accountable. All of a sudden, it's Nigeria.
Obsessed with them. So the sheer fact that that's not enough for some of you, and the sheer fact that that's somehow provocative to your demons, that's on you. I don't need to feel bad because I'm out here living my best life to the best of my capacity, despite all these lies and everything. I am a beacon of hope for men everywhere that just want to be a part of their kids' lives. Some more than others. Me, I'm as involved as I possibly can.
You are only involved because they are your meal ticket. Your ex-wife was your meal ticket for a time. She was your bread and butter. She was going to be your retirement plan. You're lazy. You don't want to work. You want to reap where you did not sow. You want other people to do all the work for you. When she decided that this was not going to work for me, this was not feasible, this is not sustainable as a lifestyle of me just waiting, surviving, giving food and working while this Oyinbo man just reaped the reward of all of my hard work, she bounced and you decided to set your sights on your children. They are nothing but a meal ticket. If they were not providing, if they were not making money for you, you would actually set out to go out and work. Okay, you will actually set out and go and look for work. If they were not your meal ticket, if they were not the ones that you are relying on, because you're so lazy, like this man is so lazy. This man is so far removed from reality. The concept of actually working and making money, like he's so entitled that he's literally using the people of color in his life as a money-making machine, as an ATM. Because if you think about it, his first ex-wife, if you let him tell it, he supposedly married his first ex-wife because they had the loophole that was going to make sure that she didn't have to pay student loans. And he married her because he believed that she wasn't, and she was deserving of the protection, financial protection. Okay? She was deserving of going to school and not having to worry about student loan debts and all this other stuff. So he married her, his first ex-wife, Sarah. He married her, believing that she was deserving of financial protection. But then the second ex-wife, who is a woman of color, who is a Nigerian, he decided that that one was now going to end up paying the mounting student loan debt that he and his first ex-wife, who's a white woman, incurred. So his second ex-wife was now going to pay the student loan debt that his first ex-wife, who's white, incurred. And when his second ex-wife, who is black, realized that this was not something that she wanted to do long-term and left him, he then redirected his attention on his kids to use them to pay the student loans and to give him the lifestyle that his second ex-wife, who's black, could not give him, refused to give him. So it is so obvious that he doesn't think anything of people of color, not even his own offsprings. He doesn't think anything of them. He sees people of color as vessels that he can use to get from one financial stage to another. That's all he sees. And his own children are not exempt from this. Yeah. His own flesh and blood are not exempt from this. As long as you are a person of color, you are going to be used by this man. Yeah. So it's so interesting, really. I wanted to break that down.
And
the children, if they were not going to be financially supportive of you, if they were not going to be financially beneficial to you, you would not want anything to do with them. That is just the true tea.
Aspect, but what does that come with? It comes with allegations. It comes with accusations of stalking. It comes with accusations of this and that. And it's just constant and unrelenting. And I think many of you are starting to see, after the ridiculousness of me trying to just cut my girl's split ends off so it's easier to comb, which is actually a favor to all parties involved. It's somehow I'm out of that situation. I become a stalker because we live in the same relative neighborhood and our kids' school's nearby. Me moving to the neighborhood that we're in, and I'm not 2 doors down. That's ridiculous. is close.
But how come you didn't tell? If you were not embarrassed by your actions, if you didn't think that what you were doing at best was questionable, how come you never mentioned this? Why did it take for your ex-wife to mention that you have moved 2 doors down? Why? Why did you not divulge that information and tell them that you moved 2 doors down to your ex? Why did you wait until why did you not just tell them?
Closer to school. It saves me an hour. Saves me an hour of driving every day.
Yeah, right. All of a sudden, can you imagine this guy painting this narrative as if, oh, I really care. I care about this. Is the same man who could not possibly care less. This is the same man who said the reason why he wasn't going to pay for his portion of his daughter's school fees was because he lived in a good neighborhood and the children can go to public school, the girl can go to public school. That's the same man that wants you to believe that, oh, the reason why he moved a few doors down to his ex-wife is because, oh, he wanted them to maintain the same school that they were attending. This same inconsiderate person, you are a stalker, in my opinion. You are a stalker. That's the reason why you move a couple of doors down. You didn't have to. You didn't have to move so close to her. You are a stalker. You want to monitor her. And it is good that she said this out loud. It is good that she put this information out there so that if anything happens, you will be the number one suspect. If anything happens, you will be the number one suspect. Okay? You will be the number one suspect. So if it was not a big deal, if you didn't think anything of it, if this was such an innocent thing and you had all the right intentions, why did you wait until she blasted you? Why did you not tell your people before that? Why? Why did you wait until she blasted you before you're now talking about it? You are obsessed with her. You are obsessed with her. Brentwood is a big place. Okay? You are obsessed with her. Again, you are on notice. If anything happens to her, you are going to be the first suspect. Okay? You are going to be the first suspect. Because this is crazy. This is bizarre. All of a sudden, you care about the kids. The same kids that you bring random women. We've talked about this in the past. How your home is a revolving door of Black women coming to your home. Women that you have met on a dating app. You care about them and you're bringing random women to come and be in the same space as your children. Like joker. You are on notice, okay? You are on notice. If anything happens to her, you are going to be the first suspect. Sicko.
So the fact that it's in the same city,
it's not the same city. It's not just the same city, okay? It's not just the same city. It is the same neighborhood. Anybody with common sense, I know that his psychotic minions, they will try to like twist it and bend over backwards to like, make excuses for this. These are not two people who have the best relationship. These are not two people who are cordial or civil with each other. And it is not as a result of what his ex-wife did. It is because of him that they are not civil with each other. It is because of him that they are not on good terms. It is all him. Okay? It is his own doing. So this is why this is weak and twisted. This is why this is creepy and twisted. Because these are not two people who are like friends. These are not two people who decided, okay, post-divorce, let's just move on with our lives and try to like give our children the best childhood that we possibly can, considering the circumstances. These are not two people these are people, and by his account, or by his own doing. I will never fault Korra for the way their relationship have deteriorated. I will never, because it is him. Korra 100% wants to co-parent in peace with this man, but he's the one who's refusing to do that. So these are people who do not have the best relationship. So moving so close to your ex under the circumstance is at best creepy. At worst, diabolical. You have an intent. And I'm telling you, you are on notice. If anything happens, you are the number one target. Just so you know. Just so you know. You are the number one target. Because this is like, you could have chosen a different street. You could have chosen few streets down, but you went for a house that close to her. Because you're sick. Hit the like button, guys. Come on, Facebook. Please. Hit the like button. Thank you.
Generalized neighborhood, it's not that close, is, you know, now this,
like the way that he says it, you can, even without seeing his face, look, just listening to the sound, you know that he knows that what he's doing is creepy. He understands that what he has done by moving so close to this woman is really, really creepy, okay, and suspicious, and he sends the red flags and the alarm bells ringing. Like, he knows.
Sutherland's stalker. So it's manipulation tactics. It's
not manipulation. It is not manipulation when you consider the history that you have with each other on account of you. When you consider everything that has transpired based on your own doing, it is not manipulation. It's a sounding of the alarm and letting people know that this is what's going on, people.
It's nothing more than manipulation.
If it was nothing, why did you not tell your fans? Why did you not tell them that you had moved from a completely different city to Brentwood? I believe he claimed that he lived in Beverly Hills or whatever. That's like 2 different boroughs. That's like 2 different suburbs, 2 different cities. Okay? That's like 2 different cities. So if it was not weird, why did you not tell your fans that you were moving? Why the secrecy? Why the hush-hush? Why did you not tell them that you had moved to her city? Why? Because you yourself, you know it is weird what you're doing. You know it is weird.
Get people to come and harass me and feel sorry for the woman. There are too many women on this internet falsely claiming domestic violence. There are too many women on this internet falsely claiming that they are victims of domestic violence. In fact, if you aren't truly a victim of domestic violence as a woman, you're most likely not going to be on social media because you're going to be afraid.
Can you imagine the mindset of this clown that your request for protection, okay? Your request for protection as a domestic violence victim is invalid because you are on social media. That's his mindset. That's his mindset. Let that sink in. That you can't be a domestic violence survivor and be on social media. That's his mindset. Again, the only reason why, and I've said it so many times, the only reason why he gets away with this is because he has an audience of predominantly Black women, and no, not just Africans. I'm talking about Caribbean women, island women. I'm talking about British Black women, African Black women, because those people, unfortunately, because of the white savior mentality, are more than happy to defend this man. If he had a predominantly white audience, He will not be spewing this garbage and saying that domestic violence survivors do not be on social media, are not on social media, they are in hiding. Okay? That they are not in social media and that they are in hiding. That's how you know that the only reason why he gets away with this is because of all those black women of different backgrounds, different countries, who will let him say these things and let him get away with saying these things. Because I promise you, if he had a predominantly white audience, he will never spew this garbage. He will never stand there and say that if you're a domestic violence survivor, you should not be on social media. He will never say that because they will run him out of social media so fast. They will cancel him so fast. But because he has predominantly black women, he can say anything and get away with it. Yeah.
Of the man. You're not going to be, oh, poor me, poor me, poor me. No, because you're going to be afraid. Many women on this internet falsely claiming domestic violence. It's nothing more than manipulation, and to get people to come and harass me and feel sorry for the woman. There are too many women on this internet falsely claiming domestic violence. There are too many women on this internet falsely claiming that they are victims of domestic violence. In fact, if you aren't truly a victim of domestic violence as a woman, you're most likely not going to be on social media because you're going to be afraid of the man. You're not going to be, oh, poor me, poor me, poor me. No, you're going to be in the courts hiding. That's what victims do. They hide.
Can you imagine saying this to a predominantly white audience, white women audience? Can you imagine saying this? You know his ass would have been canceled a long time ago. Can you imagine? It is so sad, the low self-esteem that exists in our community as black people, period. Can you imagine him spewing this in a predominantly white audience, to a predominantly white audience? He will be canceled so fast. He'll be issuing all kinds of apology, saying that only people who are lying about DV are on social media. That if you're really a victim of DV, you go into hiding. Can you imagine saying this? I promise you, because I know, I have seen it happen. I have seen people get canceled for far less. In a predominantly white audience, I have seen people get canceled for far less. Like literally the only reason why he will say this is because he has a bunch of low self-esteem having people in his comments who do not care. They all just want to belong. They all just want to have close proximity to him, so they don't give a hoot what he says. In fact, they are more than happy to like roll over their fellow black women just to have a spot on his face. Just to have a spot on his face. Somebody says, I hate to hear this woman speak all BS. That means what I am saying is working. That means I am hitting a nerve. Nothing titillates me more than when I hear Justin Dean's supporter moan and groan about me, about not liking to hear me speak. That means what I am saying is effective, and what is happening to you is your last ditch effort to fight off the truth. So when you say something like this to me, it is a compliment to me. When you say you hate to hear me speak, especially when it comes to him, it is a compliment. It means that what I am saying is resonating. It means that I am striking a nerve. So yeah, thank you for letting me know. Thank you for letting me know that I am onto something. Makes me feel good. Makes me feel so good when I hear that.
generally speaking. And you want to play basketball? Well, we got to go buy a basketball because the last basketball popped. And I'm not saying all victims don't like use their voice, but a lot.
Oh, now, because now that he has realized the errors of his ways, now that he has realized that, oh, these saying this, maybe there are still some sensible ones in my comment section who are going to listen to what I am saying and they are not going to like it. Now he's trying to paint it. Now he's trying to like correct himself. You've already said what you said. And the only reason why you will get away with saying something like this is because you have a predominantly black women in your audience. Because you know them well that if you were spewing this garbage in a predominantly white audience, your ass will be getting canceled. You know this. And now he's trying to like correct himself and fix it or whatever.
A lot of people, if they're truly victimized and they're totally not the problem. And
oh my gosh, Laurie will say, Jade, you dash holy water on her when you talked. Yes, so absolutely. It makes me feel so good. When I hear them talk like this, it means that, yeah, I'm actually doing something. I like to hear from his side sometimes. And when I do, I'm like, okay, I'm for sure onto something. I am for sure onto something. And it makes me feel good. Do you know how many people have said, Jade, even though they like my other content, whenever they always try to like give me props, they'll be like, Jade, forget about Korra and Justin, just do this content. I like this when you talk about this. That's how I know that they are fans of JD. When they start trying to encourage me to do more of other content and less of JD, because they know that what I'm saying is the truth and they're trying to dissuade me. Like, I get it. You guys think I'm stupid? Hey. Do you think I'm dumb? You think I don't know what you're up to?
they're just like they keep quiet for years. Or they settle it in court. They don't go to social media to give a play-by-play of every lie and horrible blah blah blah. People just don't do that. So, I mean, like I hope you guys are all seeing the madness. And I'm going to continue to make content with my girls, as well as content, as well as clinical education content.
AKA, I'm gonna keep monetizing my girls. I'm gonna keep using them as my cash cow. I'm gonna keep milking them for everything. I'm gonna keep doing all of that. I'm gonna keep monetizing them. Because they are my only source of income. Because I have nothing else. I'm too lazy to get a job. I can lie like lying is going out of style. I can lie and I can claim that I have this practice here and that practice there, but I don't. So I'm gonna lie, okay? But in the meantime, I'm gonna monetize them. I'm gonna use them. I'm going to use them to make money because they are my source of income from now till that kingdom come. Their mother was going to be my retirement plan, but she suddenly developed a sense. She suddenly developed, an awareness, and she suddenly realized that she wasn't going to be my retirement plans anymore. But good thing she gave me 2 kids, though. Good thing she gave me 2 biracial children, because now I can just use those biracial children and milk the living daylight out of those biracial children. Lucky me.
Because that's what I'm put on planet Earth to do. That is where my gifts are, my skill set, and my life purpose I've known from...
You were put on this earth to monetize your children. You were put on this earth to use your children as your retirement plan. You were put on this earth to use them as your work cow because you're so lazy to get a job and work like normal people do, like self-respecting men do. Okay? Yeah. We're put on this earth to monetize your innocent children. There is a law now, okay? There is a law now that requires... This law was only limited to... the law was only limited to actors it's a California law that says parents must set aside a certain income for their children, especially parents of minor children. This law was only made for actors, okay, but now they have now reenacted the law, and to now include the reenactment. No, it's not reenact. They've now, I forget the word. Don't say reenactment. They have now updated the law to include children who are also content creators on social media, because it was a problem that a lot of parents who had children who were child actors, and because they were the age of minority, whatever contracts, whatever fundings, whatever payments that those children got went directly to their parents' account, and a lot of parents started taking advantage of it because they were the ones, managing the finance. So they were using it basically on themselves, spending the money on themselves and doing whatever. And so it ended up that a lot of children who were child actors, once they reached the age of majority, once they reached the age of 18, and many of whom have been working and putting in the work since they were like 4 months old, 2 months old, 1 day old, up until 18 years old. Once they reached the age of majority, they found that their parents had squandered all of their income, all of their money. They didn't have anything. They didn't have a nest egg. They didn't have nothing to fall back on. And things were not as rosy as they were. You know what I mean? And so what they ended up doing, they now set a law aside that any parent that is managing their children's income must put a certain amount somewhere, okay, in a trust for the children for when they turn 18, so that they can have access to that money. You know what I mean? So that was the law. And I believe this law really started to take, they started to take this law seriously from when Macaulay Culkin, the boy who did Home Alone, when it came out that his parents had squandered his money. Not just his other brother too, Corey Culkin. Their parents squandered their money from their childhood. All the movies and all the shows that boy was in, their parents could not even account for anything. It was in that when that came out, when he took his parents to court once he turned 18, that the law decided to take the law seriously, that this is not fair. This child cannot be making millions, and the parents are living off of these millions, and then when they reach the age of majority, they cannot even account for the funds. So that law was imposed, that law was made to protect children. And now recently they just updated that law to include content creators, like social media content creators, that if you're using your children to do content, you must set certain percentage aside for them, so that when they reach the age of majority, you cannot come and tell them story, because they are obviously working and making the money, So that's what is now, that's now what's going on. So you want to monetize your children, you want to use your children, Mr. Peggy, you want to use your children, Justin Dean, you want to use your children as your source of income because you cannot get out and work, because you cannot make your own money. Just make sure that you put certain percentage aside. Okay? Make sure that you put certain percentage aside for them, so that when they reach the age of majority, they will have money that they can use if they want to go to school, if they want to learn a trade, whatever they want to do, they will have the money readily available for them. So that you cannot come and tell them story about how, oh, I don't want my kids to go to school, I'll just train them instead. No. So you want to monetize your children, you want to monetize them, go ahead and do so. but just make sure, because you're lazy, because that's all you have. Without them, you're nothing. You can't even do a show that anybody cares to watch. You can't even do a show that anybody cares to watch. So the only thing that gives you relevance, the only thing that gives you financial incentives is when you put the children. But just make sure that you're setting money aside. And don't come and tell them story once they are 18 years old. By law, you're supposed to do that. By the California state law, you're supposed to do that.
Of 13 years old is to help a lot of people, and that's what I will do, as well as content. They settle it in court. They don't go to social media to give a play-by-play of every lie and horrible blah blah blah. People just don't do that. So, I mean, like I hope you guys are all seeing the madness, and I'm going to continue to make content with my girls, as well as content as well as clinical education.
Thank you, Jay Shelby. That was the word I was looking for. I don't know, for some reason, the word just escaped me. Yes, it was amended. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. I don't know, man. This morning, it's starting off slow for me, but it's okay. Yeah, it was amended to include people who were doing social media content, children, parents who were subjecting their children to social media content creating.
Content, because that's what I'm put on planet Earth to do. That is where my gifts are, my skill set, and my life purpose I've known from I was 13 years old is to help a lot of people, and that's what I will do. And if I have to be harassed every step of the way, lies, accusations every step of the way, then that's just what I'll deal with, because apparently those are the cards that I was dealt. And you know, I'm gonna face them with fearlessness, because I know that I'm walking in the path that God has placed.
It's not that enacted isn't wrong either. I think I said reenacted, but enacted is also wrong. It's also right. So, but I think I said reenacted, which is a different meaning. So, yeah, enacted and enacted, amended. All right. Sorry.
Before me. Yeah, I don't know whose cars those are, Athena. I think you can ask nicely to play with one of them. Athena, go ask. Don't just take a car, go ask. Go ask first, right over there.
Somebody, what statement are you looking at? Tell me first, because I don't want Justin supporters coming here wanting people to promote anything. What statement are you asking where he made it? What statement?
No, guys, I don't need to give anyone any explanation, but this has become a subject that I'm somewhat passionate of, and eventually I would love to create a nonprofit for fathers that are falsely accused of domestic violence.
Wow. Can we list that to who is taking score? I beg. Anybody here who's taking notes, who's taking score? Can we list this one? He wants to create a non-profit for fathers. Can we add this to the list of promises? Can we add this to the list of promises that he has made? Like he talks a good game, because he knows that he's surrounded by a bunch of people who anyway, let me keep my mouth shut and not even say what I need to say, what I want to say. But yeah, can we add this to the list of things that he wants to do? He talks a good game, but like they say, talk is cheap. Talk is cheap.
You know, so
he wants to create a
like
non-profit.
myself.
Can you imagine the biggest grifter in the world, the biggest panhandler in the world, the biggest loser in the world wants to create a non-profit? Hey, all the money that you guys are going to be donating to that non-profit are going to go to his pocket. Good luck. Good luck. Non-profit my left nyash.
I was a loving husband. I dedicated my entire life.
Yeah.
And when I freaked out and left, it was for damn good reason. Lesser men than me would have done far worse. So
Where you did, we saw what you did when nobody was watching. So yeah, we saw what you did when nobody was watching, and it's because of what you did and the way you talked to her when nobody was watching that caused me to believe that she's right about what she said. Even when she said that you broke her phones to make sure that she didn't have any evidence to the accusations that she was making, I believe her based on what you said, the things that you said, the language that you used, while you didn't think that people were watching. Yeah.
I mean, this is a subject. I mean, I'm literally getting DMs from men all the time saying, "Thank you for the content you produce. I am fighting for my kids." I was
What content are you producing? What content are you producing? Oh my gosh. God. This is why I will always do stories like this, topic like this. People need to be careful. Women need to avoid men like this. Seriously. Seriously. The reason for this, I could do other things. Okay, views are not my problem. I could do other things. But the reason why I focus on stories like this is because you that is aspiring to be in an interracial relationship, you need to pay attention to the signs. You need to pay attention to the gaslighting. You need to pay attention to so many things going on. Because this right here, huh? Mm-mm-mm-mm. Hmm.
so close to giving up, and I won't give up. And and
You won't give up because you have no choice. Because you need that social media money. That's the reason why you won't give up. That's the reason why you won't give up. You need social media money. Social media is your bread and butter. You are too lazy to actually go and look for work, like look for traditional work. And you rely so heavily on social media, and that's the reason why. Come on, guys, Facebook, please hit the like button for me. Thank you. We are close to 100 likes. Go ahead. We can do it. You can do it.
frankly, that's what a lot of men do because I nearly gave up. I'm one of the most devoted fathers you'll ever meet. I love my.
Like he just toot his own horn. You nearly gave up because you had a word with your lawyer, and your lawyer told you that you did not stand a chance, that if you allowed this case to proceed before the judge, you are going to lose. That was why you gave up. That was why a day or two prior to going to court, you came out moaning and groaning, claiming that, oh, you're just going to give up because the handwriting was already on the wall. Okay. The handwriting was already on the wall. You had already seen that you did not stand a chance, that you were going to lose this. That was why you almost gave up. Until that was why when you got to the court, the day that you guys were supposed to go to court, you agreed to comply to the original court order, the one that you were fighting tooth and nail against. That was why you agreed to comply, because you knew it wasn't looking good for you. You knew that if you did not comply, you face a real risk of losing the children. And you were concerned about losing the children, not because you love them or you care about them or you think you want them in your life. No, in my opinion, losing them in court, losing physical and legal custody meant that one, you will now have to pay child support. And unless you are stupid, like you are really, really stupid, because that's the only way. You cannot see anybody that is following you, anybody that is watching this whole thing, unless you're stupid. That is the only reason why you will not see that the number one reason why he is fighting for custody is because of child support. Because then he's really going to have to get a job. because then he's really, really, really going to have to work. And we know this clown is allergic to getting a job. We know he's allergic to working. So your lawyer had a word with you. Okay. Your lawyer had a word. Hold on. So your lawyer had a conversation with you. Let me do a sound check to make sure. Okay. So your lawyer had a conversation with you and told you you are not going to win this. There are so many evidence against you and you're not going to win this. And that was why you came out crying and telling them, because you were preparing your people. You were preparing them for your inevitable loss. So you came out and you talked about how, guys, I'm just going to give up and rah, rah, rah. But then you went to court and your ex was willing to give you another chance. She was willing to give you another chance for you guys to resolve the issue without going before a judge. For you to basically agree to the original agreement. I read the court document. It was like you guys then had like a reset back to the original agreement. Because you knew that you really you decided that, you know what, I'm lazy, I cannot get a job on my own, I can't work. These children are going to be my retirement plan. I might as well just pretend as if I want to co-parent in peace so that I can still have access to monetizing my children. It was a calculated decision that you made. So all this talk about how you were almost giving up. You were not giving up because, you were just exacerbated. You were just exasperated for what was going on. No, you were giving up because you knew that you were going to lose anyway. So you wanted to prepare your viewers. You wanted to prepare your audience for what was coming, because you didn't think that she would agree to just go back to the original agreement. You can only fool the morons that are supporting you. You can't fool everybody.
My kids, I would die for them, and I almost gave up, left.
You will die for them. This man can't para. This man can't talk.
And just said, come see me when you're 18. I can't deal with your mom. So it's,
Come see me when you're 18, but then you remember, this is America. You're gonna have to pay child support. And even after paying all that child support, there is no guarantee that they will see you when they are 18. Okay? There is no guarantee that they will see you when they are 18. You will pay all those child support and they still will see you when they are 18. He's so full of bullshit.
It's ridiculous that even me, someone that is absolutely devoted and loving father, somebody that would literally take a bullet for them, almost gave up on his kids.
He was willing to take a bullet for them, he says.
And when I almost gave up on my kids and left, it wasn't even giving up on them. It was giving up on myself. My tolerance of bullshit.
Thank you so much, Came on It, for the stars. I didn't see it earlier. Hopefully you're still here. Thank you for the star. I just noticed. Yeah. It was gonna give up. Aww.
That really struck a chord with me. It really changed my entire perspective on the idea of what a deadbeat dad is. Sure, is there lots of deadbeat dads out there? Absolutely, there's a lot of deadbeat dads
but
out
that's
there.
Not you. That's not you. You that is going above, you're literally staying in the children's lives. In my opinion, you're staying in your kids' lives to avoid paying child support, because you know that no matter what, that child support is going to be paid. If you give up. If you don't contact them. If you don't talk to them. If you whatever. But that child support is gonna be paid until they are 18 years old.
A lot of men that are dealing with similar circumstances as me, where there's lies, allegations, this and that. They're trying to take your skin and wear it as a trophy. There's a lot of dads like me that are good fathers. The marriage just didn't work out, and it's better for the kids that they don't be raised in a toxic living environment. And that's exactly the decision I made. I didn't leave my...
But every day, though, you still try to create a toxic environment for them based on the way you talk about their mother, based on the disrespect, based on your nonsensical, frivolous lawsuits that you continue to like file. Based on all of that, you are still creating a toxic environment.
My kids, I left a toxic living environment so they could be raised in some state of normal. Because when kids are raised in a toxic living environment, guess what they're going to look for in their own partners, their own marriages in the future.
But that's it, though. You do that already. Like, it's gonna take the grace of God for those kids to not end up with men with sorry excuse for a man like you. It's gonna take the grace. It's gonna take serious effort for that not to happen, because you are already everything. Like, you are a mother's worst nightmare. You are a person's worst nightmare. Anybody that is hoping for the best for their children, you are that person's worst nightmare. You are the embodiment of a boogeyman. You are the embodiment of what your children should avoid, run away from. But twice out of the month, 2 weeks out of a month, they are exposed to such level of toxicity that it is going to take the grace of God for them not to gravitate towards men like that. It is going to take the grace of God, because you are everything. You pretend talk is cheap. You talk a good game, but you are every single thing that is wrong in a human. You are every single thing that people should run away from, and every day that they are exposed to you, it's a bad day. It's a day that they are exposed to the level of toxicity, the level of just like badness.
I would be setting my kids up for failure if I didn't leave.
But you already are. Like, if you had left and then managed to have a decent relationship with their mother, then you would have avoided, whatever it is that you're preaching here. But no, you have made their mother's life a living hell, and by doing that, you have made their own life a living hell by proxy. You have tormented their mother. So, and that's basically what you have done to them. Because everything, every pain, every hurt that you dish out to their mother, they are absorbing it. Every feeling, everything that their mother feel, they feel as well. So talk is cheap. You can talk all that good game, but you are their worst enemy. You actually are their worst enemy. You really are their worst enemy. For real. Not even saying this to be mean. You are their worst enemy.
Because they would think that toxic relationship dynamics and abuse and just like zero respect for the other party, which was me in this case, is okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. You have to raise your kids in a loving...
The first year of the separation, this clown filed multiple multiple, according to court documents, multiple frivolous ex partes. That's what he did for no reason whatsoever, because he believed in his heart that it was going to be best for his own pocket, his own bottom line, to file those things and disrupt their lives. And when it didn't work, it just continued to do all kinds of things to antagonize the children's mother. Like, it is crazy.
Environment, and if that means it's separate, then it's separate. It's just, that's the way it's supposed to be. So I mean, so fuck all these people on the internet that are trying to tear me down. I'm a fucking fantastic father, so fuck all you.
Congratulations. Wow, what a fantastic father. Clap for yourself.
Seriously.
Like, he's such a bitter man. Like, he's so bitter. He's so bitter. He's so bitter. Oh. Again, I do these videos, I react to this to bring awareness, because there is a demographic of people who really are just looking for interracial relationship. Okay, some of them don't understand, they don't know what to look for when it comes to the red flags and the signs or whatever. I mean, if you know the red signs, if you know the red flags and you know the signs and you're choosing to ignore it, then that's on you. But I will definitely do my part in making sure that I highlight the red flags so that you do not fall for this. Okay. All of this is stemming from a woman who decided that she was not going to be a lazy man's retirement plan. All of this is from a woman who decided that, no, I'm not going to be the breadwinner in this family. I'm not going to be working while this man is running around, gallivanting all over the place and coming back and infecting me with all kinds of things. Okay, bedding God knows what. A woman who woke up one day and realized that, no, I know the reason why you want to call off this divorce. I know the reason why you want to call off this marriage. I'm not going to do it because I am done. I'm tired of being your cash cow. I'm over it. You want to call it off, then do that. The disgrace, the humiliation, the embarrassment, is it going to sting? Yeah, it's going to sting for a moment, but I will survive. That is literally the only reason. A woman who decided that enough was enough. This was not only bad for her own future, but for the future of their children. Where a man who does not believe, and if you look at all this interracial relationship and look at the Oyinbo men, it is the same. It is the same. Where the men only care about themselves. They don't even care about their own children. They only care about themselves. Because they know that they are not in it for the long haul. They know that they are only in it for what they can get. And so they will milk what they can milk and will find a new victim and dump their long-suffering wives. Okay? So yeah.
I really appreciate all the people that are seeing the writing on the wall. But like, I'm gonna continue this, and one of two things is gonna happen. I think the state will eventually shut us down, because at the end of the day, I don't think that the government actually wants a nuclear family.
The state is gonna shut them down. He's already preparing. I don't know what he knows. I don't know what he knows that, maybe he's been warned, maybe he's been told, maybe he's received a letter. Because when you hear him saying the state will shut him down, that sounds really ominous. Okay? That sounds I can't say that word. Omnibus. Ominous. That sounds ominous. That sounds like he already knows something, and now he's preparing his minions for what is to come. You need to remember that this man does not say anything without already knowing. When he comes out with this video, this with him being so unhinged, and with this type of unhinged videos, just know that there is something happening from behind the scenes, and he's trying to like get the words out there. He's trying to do whatever. So that's what I think. He must have, there's something that he's probably been informed about, because now he's talking about the state is going to shut them down. So when that is happening, you have to pay attention to what he's saying. Just pay attention. Because there's something that he knows. There's something that is already going on that he's trying to prepare his people for. There's something that he has lost or he's about to lose that he's preparing for.
It's far easier to control people without a nuclear family, and it's far easier to control people without men around. So obviously, that's just my belief. Call it a conspiracy theory, whatever you want, but that's pretty much what the system has shown me. So, it's like, I've been thinking about this for a while, and this whole haircut thing really just was the nail in the coffin. If you don't see that as toxic and manipulative behavior, then you just simply have a bias. You are toxic yourself, or...
Yeah, if you don't agree with me, if you don't see things my way, if you don't think that I am a saint, if you don't think that I am the best thing to happen to any woman, to you, to your spawn, to your offspring, if you don't think I'm the best thing to happen in the social media streets, then you are toxic. You are toxic. If you don't agree with me 100%, if you don't think I am right all the time, then you are toxic.
You need to actually be around some healthy men, people that actually are...
If you think... If you think that you are the definition, anybody that looks at this clown and think is the definition of an healthy man, then something is wrong somewhere. Anybody that looks at this, the fact that he is even insinuating, because that's what he's doing, is projecting, insinuating that he is a healthy male. Anybody that looks at this person, his behavior, everything that he does, and think, yeah, he's a healthy male, then something's wrong. You need to see a specialist, because one definitely flew over the cuckoo's nest for you. Oh my goodness. Jay Shelby says, Jade, when I need legal representation, I am choosing you, precise, and all of the above brilliant traits of the best attorneys. Thank you. I'm not a lawyer, but I'll take it. Thank you. I can serve as a legal advisor. Okay, I can serve as a legal advisor, Jay Shelby. Yeah, so thank you. I will take that. Thanks. So yeah, if you don't believe me, if you don't think that I am the best man, I am the best thing to ever happen to this woman and these children, and to you that is watching me on social media, if you don't think that I'm the best thing, then there is something wrong with you. You are toxic. Somebody say he's really crazy. He is crazy. cray. Ooh, sheesh.
And protective and providers and supporters and everything else. If you don't have
Provider, you that is literally holding on to, you that is refusing to walk away when you know that you're not a fit parent, when you know that you are only subjecting your children to toxicity, you that is holding on simply because you don't want to pay child support.
men like that in your life, then I feel bad for you. Truly, I do. So I've really just I've been thinking about this for a while, and then I recently, just a few days ago, got on a phone call with a guy that's in the heat of a divorce. He's being accused of this and that. He has a restraining order on him because she claimed he was abusive without providing any evidence whatsoever, exactly like me.
There is no way in America that you can claim that somebody is abusive towards you and a restraining order will be granted without evidence. We have covered this in the past, especially when we're talking about their case and other cases. I have covered this in the past on this channel, where I have said that restraining orders, I think it was even around the time where he filed a restraining order and she also got one, and both of them got partial restraining orders. Okay, restraining orders anywhere in America are the hardest thing to convince a judge to grant. Anywhere in America, restraining orders are the most difficult things. We have even covered, if you guys remember, we have covered a situation where a woman that was really in fear for her life. Multiple occasions, I gave so many different examples of people who were in genuine fear for their lives, went before a judge asking for a restraining order, and the restraining order was denied. And either a day or the same day that the restraining order was denied, or a few days later, the people that they wanted a restraining order against came to the house and buyed them. We have talked about this before on my channel, how restraining orders are not something that the judge just hand out like TikToks. Before they give you a restraining order, they make sure that there is evidence, because they also don't want people abusing restraining order. So this clown standing there telling people that, whoever it was that he was just talking to, the ex of that person granted a restraining order, and the ex of that person asked for a restraining order, and the restraining order was granted without no evidence. It's 100% false. 100% false. The judge does not play with a restraining order. They only give restraining order when there is insurmountable, irrefutable evidence. That's when they do that. Because it's not just something that they hand out like TikTok. No. Again, this is another example of him gaslighting. This is another example of him saying things that are not true, just to drum up support, just to drum up sympathy, just to make people believe that, look, I'm not the only one. If you think I'm such a bad person, if you think that I'm lying on her, if you think that I have done something, let me tell you about this imaginary person who's also going through the same thing, whose wife just got a restraining order against him and he didn't even do anything. There was no evidence, there was no proof, there was nothing. Because he needs to get enough example of the system being rigged against him. He needs to get enough people. Oh my gosh. He needs to get enough example of, look at that person. The system is not just me. You may not like me. You may think I'm this and that, but it's not just me. It's the system. It's rigged against me. The system was created to frustrate me. This is a white male in America. The system, up until now in 2025, the system was built to protect him. Somebody say he sounds like a paranoid schizophrenic. That's the reason why he should not even have access to those kids. Like, he sounds like something is wrong with him. Honest to goodness. Came on it. Thank you so much. I saw the star. I saw it late. Thank you for the stars. Came on it says he's probably following Stephen Hilton and didn't even talk to him because he's a liar. Exactly like you said, liar proctor. Yeah. The same way he claimed that he cured stage 4 kidney disease or something with a hug. Like, he sees things online and he comes and he personalizes it. Like, he will see a trending topic, a topic that is trending online. He will come and rewrite the whole scenario and make it seem as though it happened to him, that this is his story. Like, he's a pathological liar. If you've been following him for any length of time, you will know this. Like, he will literally come out and he will lie and he will insert himself in trending topics, hoping that nobody will catch on. We've talked about this in the past. He will literally come here and he will say things that are not even true. He will take a trending story, a trending topic, and he will personalize it. He will make it seem as though he's talking about, oh, this happened to me. All you need to do, if you are social media savvy, or if you are paying attention, if you're in the social media streets and you know what's trending, you will immediately realize, immediately catch on that, oh, this is him lying again, pretending that something happened to him, whereas he's just taking something that is going on social media and inserting himself into it, hoping that nobody will catch on. That's what he does. That's what he does.
And he's so tired of how much money he's spending, and let's face it, most guys don't have the money to spend. So, like, but I talked to him and I walked him through the process, and I'm just like, look, she has to prove it. Like, you know, if you're innocent, then stick to your guns and just keep going. You will get your kids. You just have to be willing to walk through hell and out the other side.
If you notice, a lot of the men that he supports, a lot of the men that he quote unquote advocate for, yeah, if you notice, a lot of them end up losing in court. And a lot of these men are men who are in social media. A lot of these men are men who have monetized social media. They have the means, they have the finances and everything to fight for custody. But the judge, they are combating most of the time women who do not have the resources, who do not have the finances to tackle them in court. But these men still end up losing because the system sees that there is something inherently wrong with what they are doing. If you look at all of the men that, like the ones that he shares every now and then, for example, the Hurt twins, with all of the money that man has made on his social media, he's still losing in court because the system can see that something is wrong, something is wildly wrong here. Imagine having all the money and the resources to fight your kids, and you're fighting with a woman who doesn't even have a job. And you can hire a lawyer. You have people in the media that can blow your story wide open to the point where local news will pick up your story and they will do a piece on your story and they will talk about you, interview you, yet you still lose in court. What does that tell you? Doesn't that tell you that the system recognizes that something is wrong with what you're doing with your parenting? Those are the kind of people that Peggy likes to amplify. Like the irredeemables, the obviously guilty ones, so that they can all moan and groan together about how the system is failing, about how the system is rigged against them. Like, it is a doozy.
To achieve it, and a lot of guys give up. To be honest with you, a lot of guys just give up, or they don't have the money to fight this. And it's very sad how many kids are growing up without dads simply because of a toxic baby mama.
Listen, any child, including your own children, are better off being raised without you, being raised without a father like you. Including your own children are better off. No child deserves to be raised by a narcissist. Every child deserves to be raised by a father who truly has their best interest with the right intention, not a father who sees his own children as a money-making scheme, as a cash cow, as an ATM machine. Every single child deserves to be raised by a good father who is going to instill in them the right values. A father that is not toxic. My opinion, based on everything that I have watched, based on everything that I have seen about you, those children are better off without you in their life. You only deserve supervised visitation once every Sunday for 2 hours. That's all you deserve, in my opinion. That's all you deserve. No child deserves to be raised by a father as toxic as Peggy. No. No child deserves that. At best, and this is after a long investigation, a long process of you working on yourself to be a better parent, that you will even deserve 2 hours a week supervised visitation. That is what you deserve. So it is a travesty. It is an atrocity that you have 50-50 custody. It is a failure that you have 50-50 custody of your kids. It is a failure. It is a failed system. It is so crazy and funny how those who enjoy the system more, those who benefit more from the system, are the ones who complain and moan and groan about how the system is failing them. That is how it has always been in America. That is how it has always been. The ones who moan and groans the most about the system are the ones who benefit the most about the system, from the system. You don't deserve 50-50. What you deserve is supervised visit 2 hours a week. That's all you deserve. Until whatever is going on upstairs is sorted out, whatever is going on with you upstairs is dealt with.
Seriously, it is sad. You know that this is true. If I posted about it on social media. I was gonna peace out. I was gonna leave my kids behind and come back when they got older.
When they got older, because it's so easy, they're just gonna be sitting around waiting for you. Yeah. Because they're just gonna be like, whenever dad is ready to have us, we'll come back. Yeah, because that's how it works. In 2025, That's how it works. You really, really need to chill out from that Niger community that you spend time in, because that's where you're getting all this ridiculous talking point. It's 2025. No kid is waiting for you to show up. Okay. And second of all, that's not why. That's not why you wanted to give a peace out, because you had already been advised by your legal counsel that you were going to lose this case until you work things out. Unless you work things out with your ex, you were going to lose this case. And if she wasn't going to work things out with you, if she didn't want to work things out with you, you were going to lose this case. And that's the reason why you came out moaning and groaning and crying and talking about how you were going to just give up. You're going to give her full custody, because you were almost certain that you were going to lose custody anyways. You wanted to prepare them so that they can run with the narrative that it was you who gave up custody. Your minions may be stupid and dumb and not know what's going on. The rest of us are not like that. We know what's going on. We know. The reason why you came out was to let them know that this was what's going to happen, so that when the court date finally came and you rightfully, in my opinion, lost custody, you can then say, oh guys, don't worry, she didn't win. It was I who decided that I didn't want to do the fight anymore. It was I who decided to relinquish custody to her. I gave up. It was a strategy that was really, really elementary. It was dumb and stupid.
Because I just couldn't deal with the nonsense anymore. It was destroying my professional career. It still has a lasting, everlasting effect. But now I'm here standing for something bigger and beyond myself. I'm standing up.
Oh my God. Hear ye, the Savior of the world. Hear ye, the Savior of the world, the Savior of the universe. Oh, Savior, we thank you so much for saving us. Oh, Savior. Oh, something bigger than yourself, Savior. What a loser.
Men actually being a part of the kids' lives and actually being able and motivating other men out there to be a part of their kids' lives that they want to. And don't let no toxic baby mama stop you. Because at the end of the day, dads matter. Moms matter too, for sure. I'm a mama's boy. I'm super close to my mom.
Unfortunately, she did a poor job raising you. I'll tell you that for free. That woman did a poor job. I don't know. Maybe the reason why she's enabling you is because she failed. I don't know. But she did a poor ass job.
Love my dad too, but I'm a mama's boy.
Okay. Your jailbird father, your father who was running away, according to you, running away from you, getting in trouble, getting arrested, running away from all of you. And your mom, the weekend that she will have to spend time, the weekend that she wasn't working, instead of spending time with the children whose father was a jailbird, this woman will leave you guys and be traveling cross state lines to go and steal a man who's doing everything possible to avoid being a father. Yeah, okay. You can rewrite history all you want, but some of us have been following it for a long time. We know what's up. We know what's going on. Okay?
And at the end of the day, dads matter. They really do, especially for young boys, but also for young girls. I mean, they matter for everyone. So, I see all the hate coming towards me because I cut off split ends. Get your fucking head out of the grass. Grow the fuck up.
Look at the man. And this is while his children, the one that he's trying to instill moral and ethics and values on, while they are 2 feet away from him, and he's throwing the F word around. Mr. Moral Ethics. Mr. Moral Ethics throwing the F words around while his children are 2 feet away. How nice. How moral of you. How very moral of you.
Like, seriously, go find the man that hurt you, because it wasn't me. And Nigerians, stop your shit. You're embarrassing yourself. My daughters are half Nigerian, and I would love for you.
The only reason why you keep mentioning Nigerians is because Nigerians are your bread and butter. You know this. You can deny it all you want. The only reason why you keep mentioning it because you are hoping that they will pick you up again and start talking about you so that you can go viral. That's literally the only reason why. Because even Nigerians have turned their backs on you. Okay, we are done making stupid people famous. So yeah, that's the only reason why I keep bringing it up because you want this to go viral. You want people to talk about it because you know that Nigerians are the one driving your traffic. So yeah, no one cares. Like I always say, and I have said this so many times, when somebody like you insults me or insults Nigeria, I don't even feel bad. I think it's a compliment. Okay? I think it's a compliment. If somebody like you insults my country, it just means that you already get the message. Like you already know that we are not effing with you and you are pained. And that's the reason why. Mm? So yeah, he's specifically mentioning Nigerian because he wants people to talk about it and this and that and get angry and angry post and angry share. Nobody cares. Peggy, nobody cares about your insults. Like your insult means nothing. Literally means nothing. Okay, so but right on. But what is interesting to me is that this same person who preaches about ethics, who preaches about, morals and values and this, he's literally throwing the F bomb while his children are 2 feet away from him. And this is why he's doing a live video where he's supposed to pretend to be a good dad, to be a very wonderful, amazing father. So imagine what he would do when there is no one watching and he doesn't have to pretend, he doesn't have to show that he's a good dad. Imagine what he'll be doing. Imagine the kind of morals that he'll be instilling on those children. Again, you are those children's like you're their worst nightmare. Like you literally are the worst example. You are the worst thing to happen to those children. The very worst thing to happen to those children.
Guys to actually represent the culture in a positive way instead of this toxic sludge that you guys promote and support on the internet. So, bye.
He's clearly so pissed off, because even Nigerians have turned their backs on him. He knows it. We don't care anymore. Do whatever you like. Your ex-wife likes it. We love it for you. But yeah, we don't care. Nobody, like, you're not even relevant enough for anybody to feel bad that, oh, you're saying this and that about Nigerians. We're going to feel bad. No, like, you're not even relevant. Okay? You're not even relevant. So whatever. What you're doing, you're clearly unhinged. Like you're unhinged and you are losing your mind because no one cares anymore. Nobody's talking about you. Nobody cares. So it is whatever. It is whatever. Moan and groan and call Nigerians all you want. Nobody will pay you any mind unless, of course, to ridicule you. Nobody's gonna, because what he enjoys obviously is being talked about. Like nobody cares. You have now been rendered persona irrelevant. You're very irrelevant now, and you're desperate, looking for attention. Nigerians only give attention to people who do not want attention. You see, those who want attention, you will never get it, and that's what we are doing to you right now. We will only give our time and our social media power to somebody who doesn't necessarily need the attention. But yeah, it is what it is. Anyways, he's very angry. Yeah, He's very angry. You sense that as well. Yeah. Especially the last part, it really, really showed that he's really, really hungry. And that can come from the lack of control that he has now. He has no control. And he notices now that whatever it is that he's saying, nobody cares, no one is buying, nobody's falling for it. And all of that is what is driving his anger. Yeah, he's very, very angry, But yeah. Anyways, that's the video. I wanted to quickly just come here and do a reaction. I can't believe I really need to stop saying that this is going to be a short one. I honestly didn't think this video was going to be 2 hours. I honestly did not think that. But, it was fun. I had fun hanging out with you guys. But yeah, that's the reaction that I wanted to do. Thank you guys so much for being here. Please like and share. I'll catch you later. Bye.